Okay, I was contemplating on making this video or not, but you know what? Literally every single time I look at this weapon, I just get confused and mad and frustrated, and I just want to get it off my chest, you know? I just need to talk about it with someone. I've already complained about it to a few people, but it has to be done. It has to be done. So let's talk about Nahida's best in slot weapon. Okay, so as we all know how best in slot weapons work in Genshin, they are always by default the best weapon for, set character, and this is going to be Nahida's best weapon because, it's elemental mastery scaling, and, she scales on elemental mastery. It's all nice and dandy, like a lot of elemental mastery, 260, but then we get to the passive. And of course I'm not going to read the entire passive, at this point I'm assuming that everyone knows what the passive does. It just gives elemental mastery or damage bonus. That's basically it. But my problem is the way it gives it, because you don't just get it, you need to trigger the effect. And how is it triggered? By what element your teammates are. So basically, or you get elemental mastery if your teammates are of the same element, or you get damage bonus if they're of a different element. Now, even with my two overworked brain cells, I can already see that there is something wrong here. So let's just track back and just, do it step by step. So, what do you use elemental mastery for? You use elemental mastery to buff elemental reactions. How do you make elemental reactions? By fusing different elements. How do you do that? The most efficient way is having different elements on your team. So, why do you get elemental mastery? By having the same elemental type on your team. Okay, so this can stack up to 96, or let's just say 100 elemental mastery. So let's say you have a full Dendro team. Nice, you just got the full buff 100 elemental mastery. But what now? How are you going to make elemental reactions to actually make use of this elemental mastery? You don't. You have to rely on the elements in the world or from the enemies, etc., which is just stupid, right? It's just stupid. And this just grinds my gears so much, it makes no sense. Who made this weapon? Who actually thought of this and thought, yeah, in all cases this weapon is gonna be good for her? No, it isn't. Why didn't you swap this around? It makes no sense. Give us elemental mastery if the elements are different on the team. Right? Because more elements on the team means more elemental reactions, means you need more elemental mastery. It just seems like such a basic concept, I feel like I've already seen a bunch of people talk about it. Well, actually not a bunch of people. I only saw a few people talk about it, and I feel like actually not enough people are talking about it. But I feel like because it's a 5-star weapon, most people don't really give a shit about it anyways, because for a lot of people, especially for free-to-play players, it's, 5-star weapons are a thing that's outside of their reach, so most of the time they don't even care about it. But even then, this is a thing that has been going on for quite a long time. I feel like ever since the Staff of Homa dropped with Hu Tao. Back then, we were so hyped. The Staff of Homa is such a good weapon, it's almost like a must pull for spear users. But ever since then, for some reason they really have this tight grasp on power creep, and I'll be honest, it's good. Power creep is not good for a gacha game, but this is also not the way, man. People have already done the calculations, and apparently this weapon is only 15% stronger than a 3-star weapon at R5. Come on. I understand trying to hold back power creep, but this is not the way in my opinion. I'm still going to summon on the banner because, it has this weapon and the Thundering Pulse, and I kind of just want both weapons. But otherwise, man, if the second weapon was trash, there's no way I would have summoned for this weapon. It's such a small increase in power, which just doesn't make it seem worth, and it happens more often. More and more, they just keep on releasing weapons that are 5 or 10% stronger than already existing weapons, and it's kind of just the weapon is just for drip, right? The weapon is just there for aesthetics, and that's it. And it's kind of sad, man. It's kind of sad. I don't want a weapon that's 100% stronger than, existing weapons. I just want a weapon that is considerably stronger on the character itself. And it's also just when I look at the passive, it doesn't scream nahida at me. I just see a weapon that, like, you can probably just throw it on anyone. You know, for example, if you look at Raiden Shogun, how she has her spear, which is just, I don't know, it's so... You look at the passive and you just think, oh yeah, this is like a Raiden weapon, you know, like the energy recharge scaling that gives you back the attack so you can go for the energy recharge sands very comfortably. You know, it just makes a lot of sense. But this weapon, I don't know, like, it's just a stat stick. It just gives you some, you know, mediocre stats. And even then, you know, as we just talked about, the buff that you get doesn't even make sense for the character. A character that is so reliant on elemental reactions, but you get punished for making elemental reactions, like, indirectly, by giving you, you know, damage bonus instead of elemental mastery. Now, of course, you know, it's not like punish, you know, I make it sound bad, but damage bonus is still good. It's going to increase your damage, but, like, when I think of Dendro, I want to do big PP damage with the Dendro reactions. I don't really care about a raw Dendro damage, you know, I want that elemental mastery. I do not want that damage bonus, like, I can just get it from, like, an artifact set or from the goblet or whatever, you know. It's just frustrating, man. Like, of course I'm getting into it, like, way too much, but I just had to get it off my chest because I'm just confused about this passive. Like, honestly, it really, like, makes me wonder how this got past the beta. Like, how did no one say, like, yo, like, this passive is kind of weird, man. Like, can you guys, like, change it up a bit? But whatever, you know, this is basically it. You know, I just wanted to make a short little rant. It was, you know, from the beginning supposed to be a short video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the weapon, and if you agree with me. If you don't, let me know why. And yeah, that's about it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.